Alright, welcome back, guys. Today I'm going to be painting up a Black Knight. I already painted up the other four. We're going to do a similar scheme to the Graveguard, but also I don't want everything in my army to look exactly the same, especially skeletons. So, to kind of have these guys stand out a little bit, because, you know, they're on horseback, they're possibly like royalty, or, you know, just nobles, that sort of thing. Or, you know, knights, we're going to do the armor a different color, and we're not even going to rust it. So, first we're going to start with a dry brush of, what is it? Balthazar Gold. And then we're going to do it on all the armor, even on the horse. And then we're going to come back in later and we're going to highlight that. And then we're going to do the bones. And then we'll do the tattered cloth all around the horse and the waist cape for the skeleton. So let's and we're doing a light-ish dry brush, just because when we come in with the highlight color, it's going to be Psychologist Bronze. What do you call it? We want it to be noticeable. It's hard to pick out on Balthazar Gold, but that's what kind of makes it nice. It's a subtler highlight. So just make sure you get the chain mail, or the scale mail, more like it, around his waist. Get the horse armor. If you get a little bit on the waist cape, that's fine. As we saw with the Graveguard, I got really messy with it, so I mean, doesn't matter too much. All right. And then I already did I left his right arm off. I did that for all the Black Knights, just to make it easier to get to his chest and to get like the behind the shield right here. So I already painted that fully. For like the lances or for the sword for the Hell Knight, I painted them with the rusty metal technique that we did in the Graveguard. So if you want to know how I did that, just watch that video. Okay, now we're going to come in with Psychologist Bronzer. We're going to do a very light dry brush for the highlight. It's a really nice, rich, coppery color. Trying to think. Brand new penny. Like if you live in the US, a penny. If you've seen a brand new one, it's about that color. It's really nice and shiny and bright. So it's a really good highlight color for any sort of brass or copper or anything like that. So we're just going to come in and we're just going to lightly catch the edges. I'm going to come up, I'm going to show you guys real quick just the head armor for the horse before we highlight it, so you can kind of see the before and after. It's a very subtle effect, or it can be a very subtle effect. And then this is what it looks like now. Gives a little bit more life, you know. If I didn't have to go up to battle ready, I would do selective highlights with this, because if you have watched any of my videos before, aside from my Graveguard video, because that is part of the same series, those guys have to be battle ready, I prefer selective highlights just because I can control the lighting effect on a model much better than if you highlight like every single surface. Alright, so the highlight is almost done. Let's alright. So yeah, now we're gonna come in. And I'm going to follow the same recipe pretty much for the bones as I did for the Graveguard. So if you want to skip ahead to the cloth, which is honestly going to be really easy, go ahead. I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to come in and paint up the bone. Alright, so like I said in the last part, we're going to come in and we're going to do the bone scheme just the same as we did with the Graveguard. So we're going to start with Doombull Brown. And just be careful on the thickness or thinness of your paint. On the other 4 Black Knights, my Doombull Brown was fine, but my Zandry Dust was really thin. So not only did I have to come in and do multiple coats, it still kinda showed through, the Doombull Brown still kinda showed through a little bit more than I would have wanted. Now, of course, that's something I can come in and fix later, but right now, it is Tuesday. Tomorrow it is Wednesday. Tomorrow the Warhammer store opens back up, and it'll be my only day off. While the Warhammer store is open, and I'll be able to play in the Path to Glory event. So I need these guys done by tomorrow. So if they aren't perfect, that's fine. They just need to be battle ready, and I can come in and be a little perfectionist later. Alright, so now we're going to come in with Zandry Dust. And I did my best. I mixed it a little bit thicker than I did with the other Black Knight, so hopefully you get decent coverage and it's not too transparent. Oh, I just realized I got bone color and Doombull Brown all over the crest of the helmet. Oh, that's something I'm going to have to fix later, or I can leave it. I might just end up leaving it. Or I might just fix it once the video's done. Either way. Oh, and alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit this model with Agrax Earthshade just to, again, just like with the Graveguard, just to help bring back some definition, as well as darken the bone down a little bit. Especially for like areas like the neck here. You can see on this side, Agrax has already kind of made it easier to see the definition between the vertebrae. Just like that. So it's just a little thing like that, like for the joints, all that. And it'll make it easier to highlight. This way we don't even have to add a new color to our list of paints. Instead, we just go back to our previous color after the wash is dried. And this will just kind of tone down everything. Now, I will say I'm not super worried about pooling. Like up here, I don't want pooling like on the face or anything like that, or like on the horse's head. I don't want that, because those are like where everybody's going to focus their attention really. But like on the legs, a little bit of pooling isn't too bad. This down here, this is too much. But like little bits like that, those are fine. Not too worried about it. And then I'm not going to do it. But if you're watching this and you just trying to figure out a scheme for your skeletons, if you have the time, do a different color for the hooves. Hit them with like wildwood, or maybe a couple coats of Agrax. Just make the hooves a darker color than the rest of the bones for the skeleton. Or even hit them maybe with like a yellow contrast paint. Just something that'll darken it down. Because hooves are generally a very dark brown. They're not a bone color. But if I add another, or if I paint them with a separate color, that's a whole nother color I have to highlight, which takes time. And time is not something I have a lot of for these guys. Like I said earlier, I got tonight to finish this Hell Knight. Then I have to record the Direwolves video, and I still have to record the video for Belladama, who is probably going to take a while because she's got a lot going on. So while that dries, I'm actually going to start recording the episode for Direwolves. Alright, so just 2 more steps on this guy. He's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how the bones turned out. So now we're just going to come back in with Zandry Dust again, and we're going to do just a few highlights. Oops. I'm just going to focus on little details like his teeth, chin. Oh, what's left of his chin? His brow, or not his brow, his cheekbones. And then we're just going to do a little bit on, let me get a little bit more on my brush here. Do some selective highlights just because I'm not edge highlighting this whole guy. Sorry, not happening. We're going to focus on the jawline. Just the bottom of the jawline. And that's about it for the bone highlights. And then I'm not even going to break this into a second part, because this next part is really easy. I'm going to take Storm Ribbon Fur. Actually, no, hold on. Where is my issue? Not issue gray. Where's my Skaven Blade Binge? Alright. I'm going to take Skaven Blade Binge, not Storm Ribbon Fur, excuse me. It's just a slightly darker gray than Storm Ribbon Fur. And we're going to dry brush this on all black cloth really lightly, like about that much. You can see on my thumb just how much paint's on my brush. And we're just going to lightly this will also kind of hide any sloppiness from the dry brushing of the metallics, just a little bit. It won't hide a little, all of it, and that's honestly fine, not trying to. Honestly, if they give you a hard time about it, I could care less, because I think, if I remember hearing Austin correctly, you can try and talk to the other manager coordinating this at a different location, and they're just going to try and take over, I think they're going to take away like some victory points if you're not fully battle ready. So if this doesn't count as fully battle ready, just because I got a little sloppy with the dry brushing, you know what, take the points. I'm not fixing it at this point. Alright, so now our guy is done. All I have to do is glue his arm on. And it's just as easy as that. I'll be right back. I'll show you what he looks like all fully assembled. And we'll move on to the next video. Alright, so here is the Hell Knight for my Black Knights. All put together, painted, as you can see with the sword, just like I said, we did same scheme for the rusty metal as we did for the Graveguard. Bones, same for the Graveguard. He's got the copper armor, which gives him a bit of a better, it gives him a higher status, wow. This is the one hard part with doing live commentary, is I can't, remove my flubs unless I edit out this entire part of the video. With the copper armor, it makes him look like he's a higher status. He's a more important member of society than the Graveguard, which makes sense. He's a knight. He is on horseback. He is definitely more important than some pissant skeleton on the ground with rusty ass armor and weapons. So yeah. Alright, so Black Knights are all done. Next video is going to be the Direwolves. And then after that, it's on to Belladonna. So I will see you in that video.